9 days before the recall window opened, the lattice began to tighten in the language Elena knew best. Not accusation, but procedure. She was reviewing the side gig Republic packet when Inspector Neil Wren appeared beside her station. He did not sit. He simply stood at the edge of her desk, patient and courteous, the way a man admires a finely tuned machine. Pattern linguist Voss. I see you've been cross-referencing the Parrish Pourbox cluster with the recent side gig velocity patterns. Thorough work. The engine benefits from exact attention. Elena did not look up immediately. She kept her voice level, the same restrained tone she used when correcting the temporal aggregator. Routine verification, Inspector. Low velocity exchanges. Statistically irrelevant noise. Nothing that meets the threshold for reviewable plausibility. Of course. And yet, procedural hygiene requires us to note elevated dwell time on these nodes. The Parrish box, the fuel station handoff, the tutoring envelope in the repair corridor. All of them carry the same deliberate pause signature you once helped calibrate. The engine does not conclude. It accumulates. He leaned slightly, voice still courteous, almost conversational. You understand the doctrine better than most. The Bureau's task is not metaphysical certainty. It is administrative durability. We work toward records that can withstand review, survive challenge, and preserve continuity under pressure. Reviewable plausibility is not a compromise. It is how a large society remains governable. Elena finally met his eyes. The annex around them continued its quiet work. Analysts closing files, soft chimes marking completed reviews. You're saying the lattice does not have to be right. It only has to be durable enough to act on, durable enough to review, durable enough to intervene before ambiguity hardens into impunity. His gaze drifted to her screen, where the gray arcs linking Jonah's old fingerprint to the Parrish box pulsed faintly. Marta Kale reached that threshold yesterday. 3 low-grade pauses accumulated into a pattern stable enough to justify narrowing measures. No overt crime was proved. None was required. The system responded to an emerging continuity risk. That is what mature governance looks like. You built the chainbreak logic, Voss. You know better than anyone how clean a line can appear once uncertainty has been reduced to an acceptable level. File the summary as archival noise again if you believe that remains the strongest reading. Or recognize that the side gig layer you've been studying is simply another form of unresolved fracture the recall will eventually settle. He straightened, hands still clasped behind his back. Procedural hygiene, nothing more. Good morning, pattern linguist. Wren walked away between the rows of stations without looking back. Elena stared at the open file. The Bureau did not require truth. It required only a narrative strong enough to survive the next audit. Everything else, mercy, contradiction, private context, the ordinary motives of tired people, could be shaved away in the name of continuity until all that remained was an actionably clean line. She reached to close the packet. Her hand paused above the trackpad. Tomorrow a bill tied to Jonah's old cluster would surface across a corridor of funerals, transport hubs, and clinic purchases. Then Elena would begin to understand that someone was moving people, not narcotics. People who could remain alive only so long as they remained unregistered.